The Pendoring Awards, which encourage the creative evolution of indigenous language communication in advertising, film, print communication and publication design, are back this year and entries are open. Already boasting a 20% increase in entries with the highest number of Zulu language entries since its inception, the Pendoring Awards is the only advertising competition in South Africa with substantial cash prizes, not only for overall winners but for gold and silver categories. We talk now to Anele Nzimande, the Pendoring Awards project manager, to tell us about these awards and what they aim to achieve this year. Anele, very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. Welcome.
Very good morning, Simpiwe, and good morning to the viewers at home.
Do jog our memories if you can, and for those that don't know what the Pendoring Awards are and what they aim to achieve.
The Pendoring Advertising Award is an authentically South African awards program. We're an all-encompassing awards program that celebrates the rich heritage and the local languages of our country across different disciplines, as you've outlined. So it's print, it's design, it's communications, it's digital. And what really makes us so special is that a lot of the time we see that our local languages are falling behind in business and institutions, in places where negotiations and deals are struck. You know, we're using English, and we're saying that we want people to be able to use their languages not just as something to communicate colloquially and to communicate with our parents and our grandparents, but as a tool to craft a career. So it's really special to be able to do that and all the while to preserve our languages, because the only way we can really preserve our languages is to use them in everyday communication.
You know, the use of English language in business communication has been deeply entrenched for so many years. So do you get a sense then that the focus on indigenous languages in business communication will reach the masses, will reach the necessary stakeholders?
I wouldn't say, Simpiwe, that it's deeply entrenched. I think a lot of the communication still is in English. Even if you look at the way that the education system is set up, the indigenous languages are almost like the stepchild of the educational culture of the institution. I think the same can be said in business communications as well. And so we are about encouraging brands to create work for South Africans in our languages, also encouraging agencies to create work for South Africans in our student categories as well. And so we reach out to students across creative institutions to say, you know, your language matters. It matters not only for our identity, but for future generations as well. We know that a big concern of the United Nations itself is language. Just last year in 2019, we were celebrating, or rather commemorating, the year of indigenous languages, because a lot of the indigenous languages are actually being wiped out of our global lexicon. So we may have the idea that indigenous languages are part of business communications and are being championed, but in reality, that is not the case. And I think that's why it's so important to have awards programs like the Pendorings that are incentivizing, even in the form of cash prizes, trophies, acknowledgement, to say that it's not just a nice to have, it's not just a nice aesthetic to be creative in our languages, but it's really important for us as South Africans. It's important for us across our different identities and ethnic groups.
You know, Anele, it's so good to see that the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, has since bought into your vision of putting greater emphasis on indigenous languages in business communication, and they've since endorsed you. So do take us through what that endorsement has done for the Pendoring Awards ever since.
I think it elevates the work that we do. To be recognized by UNESCO really is that stamp of approval that we're doing work that is essential, that is crucial, especially in an age where diversity has become part of our everyday speak, our everyday language. as a part of our everyday speak and everyday language. And it just shows that the Pendoring is responding to that call, and not only responding at a superficial level, but we are talking the talk and walking the walk. You mentioned earlier that we've seen a 20% rise in isiZulu entries, for example. One other thing is that last year we had debut entries in Sitsonga, in Chivenda, which are languages that are underrepresented in the media. So to be recognized at that level, it's that, there is an appetite for the work that we are doing, and it's growing, and we want to see greater participation from people bringing in entries to the Pendoring Awards so that we can continue to preserve and celebrate our rich language diversity.
Let's talk about this year's edition then. How many categories are there, and how are the entries in each of the categories judged?
We have 9 main categories. Most of them are for the professional awards. So it's divided into 2. It's for professionals and it's for students. And if you are a student in a creative institution, you can enter your work into the Pendoring. We also have categories for professionals. If you are a freelancer, if you are with an agency, if you are with a team that is creating work that you think you want to enter and have it recognized on a national platform such as Pendoring, you can enter your work. So you can just go to our website, pendoring.co.za, entry fees across the board for the different categories. And it's quite simple to enter, really. And it's an opportunity to get recognized, especially as students, by people who are in the advertising industry, people who are in the communication space, who could potentially snatch you up and give you an opportunity of a lifetime. And in the professional category, we have an overall prize, which is a study tour abroad, where you can learn to sharpen your skills, grow your expertise, grow your knowledge. So the opportunities really are quite significant, both for the professionals and the students in that regard.
So is there citizen participation? In short, are we allowed to maybe vote for that particular business that has made an impact on us in one way or the other?
We are looking to have categories like that. At the moment, we don't have such categories, but I remember that you did ask me, how's the work judged? And that's actually very, very important. It slipped my mind. We have a diverse panel of judges across all language groups. So you don't have to worry about submitting work and thinking, oh, how is this going to be judged? Is there going to be someone who understands Xhosa on the panel? What we usually do is we make sure that the judges are representative proportionally based on the number of entries that we received in the previous year. So we preempted in that sense. And it's first language speakers, it's people who are in the industry and who understand the nuances of the work. So we pride ourselves in that, in having the most transformed and diverse panel of judges. And then we are definitely looking into having a more participatory form. We know that love their languages. They love to participate in voting for work that is standing out, that is good, that is exciting. And so that's something that people should look out for. So look out for us on social media. Follow us on our different social media platforms. Just search Pendoring, and we should come up with Pendoring Advertising Awards across all the digital channels. And you should definitely be able to do that in the coming future.
All right, Anele, great chatting to you. Thank you so much, and all the best in the awards.
Thank you so much, Simpiwe, and thank you for the invitation to speak about this program on the show.
That's an absolute pleasure, Anele. That was Anele Nzimande, the project manager for the Pendoring Awards, talking to us about the entries which have now been opened to the public.